we now?
We're in Warrior Festival Hall.
Yeah.
In London, and we're waiting for the Chicken House event.
Tell me if I can think.
And Noreen was running, so she sweats and she smells like a pig.
Thanks.
Right now, we're looking for the toilet. We're inside Pig Shop.
La la la. 360 degrees. Okay. We are looking for the place. Anything else to say before I stop and I need to go to the toilet?
I need to pee.
So do I. We're going to find the place and then we'll come back to you. Bye. Yeah. Okay, so we've just arrived.
We made it to the Chicken House event. We were on the wrong floor. The other video is wrong. We went to the wrong building, and currently we are in the one opposite, and we are in the toilets. The best place to be.
So we'll come back to you.
We'll be back in a bit.
Trilogy. Oh my god, is that the 4th book? Yeah, I think so. That's what I went to share with it. Okay, do you want to ask them?
Are you taking a video?
Yeah.
We're going to ask if we can get free books.
These are all the books, people.
Did you get these?
And these are unpublished books. We have first pick.
Here we'll picture. Video. Alright, what we got here?
I've got the Shadowrunner.
That's actually really good. I started reading that yesterday. Yeah. Copy of phrase. What does that say?
Muggle Trog.
Muggle Trog. And that's Noreen. That is me. And that's my baby. Copy of Cornelia Funk and the Summer Gang.
I got these two for my little sister and little brother. She got it for herself.
I got it for myself. It's a free book. I will take it. Girl About Time. Shadowrunner, which is part of the Maze Runner series.
Maze Runner.
Book 4, we think.
They're making this into a film as well. Woo!
That's right. Flaws. I have no idea what that's about, but it looks kind of good. And then there's unpublished manuscripts. What's this called?
Hitler's Angel.
Hitler's Angel. Qantas goes from the future. And final clause. And that's Noreen.
Yes. Okay, so I got all the books as well, the same as her. Now we're going to eat our
fruit. And sugar cubes.
Okay, not me, but her. Alright,
I eat sugar on the horse.
Say bye.
Goodbye. We'll see you later, guys.
Well, I think the book is obviously based on a big what-if premise, and the what-if premise is what if Hitler had a daughter, and what if British intelligence sent 2 young Germans, one Austrian, one to go back into Germany and get her out. So, yes, there are real characters in it, but yes, there's an awful lot of invention as well. And, you know, obviously when you're dealing with something as emotive as this, one has to be very sensitive to the issues, but also my intention was to tell a cracking, exciting thriller.
Yeah, and the children really take those issues very seriously as well, don't they? Because they are victims as well.
Yeah, I mean,
3 of them really.
Well, yes, they are all 3 of them victims. One is the son of a communist who's been taken by the Gestapo, and the other is daughter of a Jewish family who left in 38, and obviously the third is Hitler's daughter. So they are all victims in a sense, and hopefully the book has a Night of the Hunter feel. It's an exciting chase across Bavaria.
I love the end. It's so exciting. Will you read us a short passage?
I'll try. Sorry, I'm age, I need to change glasses. They both looked at the sleeping Angelica. The late afternoon sun had cut through a hole in the roof, bathing her in a mote-filled shaft of light. Although her cheeks were flushed from the heat, her face was relaxed and her expression calm. It made her look so peaceful, even ethereal. But come on, you're not saying, Otto sounded incredulous. Yes, I am. That's exactly what I'm saying. Hitler. Otto said the word so softly. Yes, I think that's why the Germans all want her so badly. That's why the British want her too. Otto looked at her appalled, then very slowly he nodded. For the first time, Lenny could see he was afraid. He put his head in his hands. Angelica was right, we're really in a lot of trouble. Don't you think I know that? They're never going to let us get away. Otto was struggling to control his panic. Stop it, Otto, Lenny said firmly. It's Hitler's child, Lenny, his daughter. What are we going to do? I don't know, I'm thinking. They sat there in the stifling heat, silent. Seems to me we've only got two options, Otto said after a while, which are, we leave her here with a note for her to walk to the hamlet. We take off now, make for the border. We can make up some story for Macpherson. Then he shook her head. It was the surest way for the two of them to survive, but she hated the idea, and she knew Otto did too. No. How do we know what the Nazis will do to her? They might lock her up, or even worse. That's not our problem. Isn't it? Then he looked at him hard. Do you really want to do that? Cut and run? Otto glanced over at Angelica, who stirred slightly in her sleep, a lock of blonde hair falling across her face. Then he could see him twisting inside, wrestling with it all. Finally he looked back at her. Then we complete the mission. Get her over the border tonight. Hand her over to Macpherson, he said. What's he going to do with her? I don't know and I don't care, Lenny. Those are our orders. Otto tried to close off further discussion. And what about her? Do we tell her who she is? Lenny and Otto looked at her again, then at each other. She was no longer just a girl to them, she was their little sister now, a reminder of the younger siblings they had both lost. She thinks she's meeting her parents in Switzerland, Lenny said slowly, remembering the girl's hope. Let's leave it like that. She could only imagine what a bombshell the truth might be to the girl. Angelica hadn't chosen to be born, to be the child of that man. Thank you.
Sophie stepped out onto the platform. The moonlight made everything glitter, and a light flurry of snow danced around in the last gasp of the dying wind. The air was cold, and it made her catch her breath. And when she did, there was the brisk scent of pine needles, as well as the softer smell of snow. Her face tingled. Marianne and Delphine, both in their coats, stumbled out of the hut, bleary-eyed. Oh, you are clever, Sophie, Marianne said, taking her glasses off to clean them. Am I? Sophie dragged her gaze away from the trees to look at her friend. We knew you wouldn't let us down, Delphine laughed. Sophie was puzzled. What were they talking about? But then, hearing a sound and seeing her friend staring into the forest behind her, she turned to look. Still quite a long way off, but coming through on tracks she couldn't have seen due to the deep drifts of snow, was a magnificent white steam train, two enormous lights like twin moons at the front. There was a long blast on the whistle, an accompanying and joyous screech of metal, and the train slowed down to approach the platform. A cloud of steam enveloped the girls. And then a man as tall as a bear with black hair and beard stepped forward. He was dressed in a white tunic with a black belt around the middle and gold buttons across one shoulder and all down one side. His black trousers were tucked into long black boots. He walked towards the girls through the folding, spiraling steam. He bowed. The girls were completely taken aback. As he stood upright again, he smiled broadly, showing square white teeth. His eyes crinkled at the edges, and his pupils twinkled as if he were about to tell them a tremendous joke. At last, he said, his voice rich, warm, expressive, easily carried over the shushing of the engine. Marianne, Delphine, and my dear, dear Sophie, you are safely here at last. Come on, Delphine said as she took the man's hand and climbed up the step. Sophie took a step towards the door. Who is he? Marianne's voice was smaller than usual. I don't know, Sophie replied. Delphine leaned out of the carriage door. Hurry up, she called. We shouldn't go with him if we don't know who he is, Marianne whispered. Please do not delay, the man said, looking more serious. The blizzard will have us. Marianne reluctantly allowed herself to be steered up the steps of the carriage. Once inside, she stood uncertainly by the window so she might get off again, and watched the man pluck their luggage out of the snow. He threw the cases up into the driver's cabin as if they were empty, slammed their door shut, and walked in front of the train. Steam billowed past the windows. There was the screech of iron wheel on track. The train shunted forward and a tiny chandelier tinkled and sprinkled light over them like snow. Before the girls could say anything, the man reappeared. He seemed even taller and larger now that he was in the daintily appointed carriage. He rubbed his hands together and said, "Next stop, the Volkonsky Winter Palace."
Alright, so we have left the event and we have a pile of books in our hands. And there's a couple in my bag and we are leaving. But we had a good event. We had food, we had books, we have some author readings which we're going to upload to the blog hopefully soon. And we've met a few bloggers as well, so we'll add their links below.
Okay, yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah, it was a fun event. We got all these books, free books. My hand's aching. But yeah, free food. Met some bloggers, some authors, author of the Hitler's Army.
Which sounds really good.
Oh, you're serious?
There we go. Zoom in. So yeah, we have a reading of that as well.
That's out of all the books, that's something most interesting to me.
Indeed.
And also Shadow Runners. But yeah, so keep watching our videos, rate, subscribe, and comment below, and let us know what you think. Bye.
Goodbye.